Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel DSA. This is Saurav and welcome back again to our Saturday Java live session. Okay, I hope I am audible and I am live. Let's check the signal. Yeah, okay, everything is fine. So let's get started. So this is Saturday 14th September and today we will be starting with inheritance, but there is a catch here. In the last live session, what we did was, you can see this. So guys, we were talking about the 4 pillars, correct? And if you remember, guys, I hope everything is fine and I am audible. Let's do one thing. We were talking about the 4 pillars of object-oriented programming in Java, right? And out of that, we have already learnt about encapsulation, done. We saw how to use the private access modifier, and we saw how to access them using 2 very special methods, the getters and the setters. And because I am using the IntelliJ IDE, I also told you the shortcuts of how to actually use the getters and setters automatically, how to generate them. Okay, I had given you the sequence. And guys, if you have not gone through that video, the video is already in the Java playlist, live playlist. Go ahead, watch that and come back. Okay. Now, second one that we were learning, the second pillar was inheritance. And I had given you lots of examples and we had also discussed about the types. Remember, we had discussed about all the types. Single, let's take a different color. Multi-level, then we had multiple, then we have hybrid, and the last one, last but not the least, these are all the popular ones that we always use. So this one is hierarchical, right? So I had shown you how to use the single level inheritance. Also I had shown you how to use the multi-level inheritance. Let's go back to our IDE and see this. This was basic, the single one. We had the animal class and then we had this dog class by using what? The extends keyword, if you remember, right? And I had shown you the use of the super keyword also. Guys, I will tell you one thing. This super keyword that you have, will have a dedicated session on that so that you can understand more about it. At the same time, I had shown you how you can access all the methods from the parent class also and from the child class also, and the benefits. And to be frank, I had told you one very important objective of using inheritance is that what? Code reusability. You can reuse the code again and again and again. So once written, once you have designed a class, you can use it as many times as you want, and you can have multiple children classes of the same class. There is no limit to it. That is the benefit. You can use the code again and again. So ultimately, you are actually following a very good principle of engineering, that is DRY. Don't repeat yourself. Because if you were doing a monotonous task every day and you were repeating yourself lots of times, it really becomes difficult to understand the things. So rather than that, we will use the parent class and implement that to create multiple child classes. That will save you a lot of time. Okay, got it? And we have discussed about constructors also and lots of other things. Now, I want to ask a very important question here. After that, we will go on with the topics. Okay. Let's see who can answer this question. Can a class in Java extend, or to be frank, say inherit multiple classes? My question is very simple. Who can answer? Let's see. Say I am saying class, I have here as a class B and a class C, and here I am writing a class A, and then I am writing something like this. Extends A, and say I am writing comma B, and then this is my syntax. Who can tell me, is this possible in Java? Can we extend multiple classes in Java? This is a very important question in order to understand inheritance in Java. Let's see if anyone can answer. I'm waiting for the answer. Pranav says yes and Varun says no. For Pranav, I have the answer. You said yes, right? Let's do it practically. It is an interesting concept, so let's do it practically. What I will do is, I will randomly create a new, say I have written here inheritance, right? Let me create a new package called multiple, okay? And here randomly let's create a class. Let me say new Java class called demo for the time being, and here after this, let me do one thing. I will say, see, thread is a class. Let's take any example. I am writing thread. And before that, let me write the extends keyword. Till here it is fine. Both of you, Varun and Pranav, just here. Class demo extends thread. Till here it is fine. Thread is a class that can be extended or inherited. If I give a comma and write, say, any other class, say string. See the magic. Actually, we cannot. A class cannot extend multiple classes. This is a very frequent question in the interviews, and 50 to 60% of the engineering students can't answer this properly, because they think that Java also works like the other languages. Actually, it is not like that. In Python, you can simply give a comma and extend one more class or inherit one more class, multiple classes. As many classes you want, you can inherit from. But in Java, a class can only inherit from another class. That's why multiple inheritance is not supported in Java directly. Okay. So, you can see here, if I hover over this, class cannot inherit from string. Let's take any other class. For example, we might have any other class, say animal, from here. See, this is in my own package. In my project, I have this. Now, see this. Class cannot extend multiple classes. This is a very important concept to understand. So, I hope you have understood this. You can highlight this thing, you can pause this and think about this. Why is this like this? So, the question that we had here is, can a class in Java extend or inherit multiple classes? The answer is no. Please remember this, it is no. So, that means this line is also very important. Please understand this. the Java language does not support multiple inheritance directly. Okay. Because of this reason, class cannot extend multiple classes. Okay, please remember this thing. This is a very important thing. Okay, so let me just do one thing. I can highlight this so that you can remember this for your interviews also. Many of these companies that come to your college for placement, right, they ask this question, and this can be a very silly criteria to reject a candidate, but it is actually it is. People ask this question and they don't understand this actually. Now you have seen for yourself that it doesn't work like this. Okay, so a class can only extend one class. That means a class can only inherit from one parent class, not multiple. Not like other languages where you can give a comma and do this. So for this we have a different term that is called what? We use interface. Okay, this is a very important term and concept. For this we have to learn what? We have to learn the next pillar, abstraction. Okay, we have to learn this. So first we will be learning this. We will be learning all about abstraction, the properties, the definition. We will write some code. After that we will come back to do this multiple inheritance. Is that clear? So before learning inheritance, the multiple inheritance part, we will be learning abstraction and coming back here. Okay, I hope this is clear now. We can extend only one class but can implement many. Exactly. You can, Hola MK says we can extend only one class but implement many. Yeah, absolutely. Because implementing is done only for interfaces. So please remember that. Whatever you were saying, Hola MK, we can extend only one class but implement many. Exactly. Implement is done for the interfaces. Here we write implements keyword. Okay, implements only works for interfaces. Then also your concept will be a little bit different. Okay, so please understand, implements keyword is not used for classes. It is used for interfaces. Please remember this. Okay, so we cannot extend multiple classes, but we can implement multiple interfaces. That also let me write it. We can implement multiple interfaces. Okay, please remember this very important sentence. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's move on to abstraction, then we will go on and finish off multiple inheritance. Fine. So abstraction, or sometimes it is also known as data abstraction. Guys, many a times what happens, even when we were learning this thing, the OOPS concepts, I am talking about 2006 when we were learning, we were studying our engineering. At that time, we confuse this thing with encapsulation sometimes. Okay, we had the tendency to think that both are same, but then obviously if they are same, then why do you consider them as two different pillars, right? Obviously there is some difference. Let's talk about this. Okay, encapsulation, I had already told you something. See, here I have a box where inside that I have some medicine. Think like this. What is the purpose of this? And say this is a capsule. It can be a capsule also. What is the purpose of this capsule? It is actually safeguarding or protecting the medicine, correct? Safeguard. Okay, that is encapsulation, the process of wrapping the code inside a block. In case of Java or any programming language, what is that block? That block is actually a class. Make sense? This class actually wraps the data inside it, and we use the private data member. Correct? The private keyword is used so that everything is wrapped inside the class, and after that we use the getters and the setters in order to access them outside the class. This is encapsulation. So, you are safeguarding or protecting the data inside the class, inside a block. The block is the class. Okay? That is encapsulation. Now, imagine I am giving you a very simple scenario. Okay? Let me erase this part. Take a simple scenario. Suppose I have to call my girlfriend. I am giving a simple example. Say, Saurav, my name. I have to call my girlfriend. I am not married, by the way. I have to call my girlfriend. Do I bother about 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G or whatever G technology I am using? Am I bothered about this? I have to call her. I have to talk to her. Then I have to call, sorry, one second. I have to call, I have to talk, then I have to cut the call. This is my purpose or my intention always, right? Anybody whom I am calling, I am least bothered about the tech. I am just bothered about the call button, talking and then cutting the call. That's all, right? What if everything is known to me? In my mind, what if everything I know? I am using 1G, 2G. I will be confused, right? I don't want to get confused. I just want to talk to her and then finish off my conversation. That's all, nothing else. That is a very simple understanding of abstraction. Similarly, let me give you one more example. Say you are the person who is, say, watching television and you have a remote in your hand. Say this is your remote, and say the music is too low, you want to up the volume, or the music is too high, you want to reduce the volume. When you press the remote, are you bothered about what technology you are using? Are you bothered? You were absolutely least bothered about that. You were just focusing on what? Turning up the volume or reducing the volume. That's all. Correct. Then what is actually happening here? You were just bothered about one thing. There is only one word in abstraction, that is bothered. That every user is bothered, I am telling you. Okay. That word is the functionality. Got it? Functionality. Call, speak, cut. Remote, volume up, volume down. That's all, nothing else. So, I can even make it even clearer like this. So, for the person to another person, the call is important, the tech is not important. Okay. Let me take a different color. The call is important, the tech is not important. Similarly, for a person to the television, what is happening? The sound is important, up and down, or the volume you can say, okay, sorry for that, volume up and down, but how it is happening, the tech is not important. Okay. Please remember this thing, the volume is important, the tech is not important. So, ultimately what is happening? We are showing the user, suppose this is the user we are doing one thing, very simple, we are showing and hiding. We are showing and hiding something, right? What are you showing to the user? Just remember what is done. So, suppose there is a button, what this button is doing. Suppose this is the volume button plus. What is it doing? It is increasing the volume. And in the back end, how is this happening? I am least bothered about that. I don't want to know about that. So, hiding how it is done. Got it? This is abstraction in a very simple nutshell. Is that clear? Showing the user what is happening or what is done and hiding the implementation details, actually how it is done. Is that clear? You guys might have understood this now. So, if someone asks you, explain abstraction in a very simple way, showing the functionality to the user and hiding the implementation. This is called abstraction. Showing the functionality of something and hiding the implementation from the user is called data abstraction or abstraction. Clear? So, let us do one thing. Let me just write down the final answer. Okay. And why is it actually done? Why do you not need to show the implementation? Why will the user need the implementation? The user just needs the functionality, the remote, on, off, up, down, volume, etc., etc. The user does not want to know the tech behind that. The user is a common person. Why does he need to bother about that, right? So, in a way, you are actually eliminating what? One very important parameter, confusion. Never confuse the user. Keep it very simple and short. That is what I have been telling every time, right? KISS. Keep it simple and short. In short, this is abstraction. Don't confuse the user. Keep it very simple and short. Okay. Now, let us come back to Java. In Java programming language, abstraction can be achieved in two ways. In Java, abstraction can be achieved in two ways. The first one is abstract classes and methods. The second one is what I had previously told you, by using interfaces. Okay, and there is one more very important thing that you have to remember. It might be asked to you in the placements also, that is, abstract classes and methods always have something like 0 to 100% abstraction, not complete. It can be 100 also, but it ranges between 0 to 100%. But in case of interfaces, it is always 100% abstraction. Okay? The abstraction level or the intensity is 100%, here it is 0 to 100%. Got it? So, let us start with the first one, abstract classes and methods, and try to understand this in a proper way. So, I will go back here. Guys, anyone has any doubts in the explanation or anything, feel free to ask, okay? So, even though I might not be able to clear it here also, I will see the comment, then I will get back to you, do not worry about that. Okay. So, let us focus on the topic now. So, let me just delete this, I do not want this again, and let us create a new package called abstraction. And in this, as I said, I will create two separate packages for both the types, abstract classes and methods. The second one I will write as interfaces. Okay. So, these are my two packages. Let us start with the first one. What I will do is, let me create a new Java class, say what, animal or animals, fine, just for example, and let us do one thing, let me clear up all the clutter. So, now see the first one, just remember this, very easy to understand, abstract classes and methods. So, obviously, we should be using some keyword. The keyword here is, let me note it, mention it here, the keyword is abstract. Okay. This keyword you have to use. So, let us try to understand that. So, I am writing abstract class animals. Okay. So, now try to understand this. Inside the abstract class, guys, there are two types of methods. You have to remember this. The first one is called an abstract method. The second one is called a normal method, or sometimes you will get this word also, concrete method. Okay. So, inside an abstract class you can have two types of methods, one is an abstract method and the second one is a normal method or concrete method. Okay. So, the abstract method, how to use it. So, I will write the abstract keyword here and then I am saying void say okay, eat, or let us take what animals you have taken, right, say speed for example. Okay. Very important thing to understand here is, as soon as I use an abstract keyword in front of a method, we cannot write the body of that method. Okay. Please remember this, as soon as we write the abstract keyword in front of any method inside the abstract class, we cannot give the implementation here. See this, as soon as I give this curly bracket and start writing something inside this, it will not work at all. So, you can see the warning or the error message that I am getting, abstract methods cannot have a body. Is that clear? Please, please, please remember this. The abstract keyword is given in such a way so that the implementation of this thing should be given in the subsequent child class. Okay. So, it has to be left blank, something like this, it will be like this. Okay. This is an abstract method, and in this way you can have lots of abstract methods in your class. Okay. And let us take a normal method also, so that you can understand the difference. Normal is, say I have a void, say eat, and here now because it is a normal method and you can write public also, it does not matter. Okay. Any access modifier you can use. I am writing void eat and then here I am saying s out animals eat some food, whatever it is, it does not matter. Understood that? So, an abstract class can have two types of methods. The first one is an abstract method which should be left empty. It cannot have the implementation here. The implementation should be given in the child class. Whenever we write the child class, we will be writing the implementation. Is that clear? Okay. Now, let us do one thing. And what did I say? A normal method, when we write, we can write the definition in that function or that method, correct? And I don't think there is any doubt till now, everything is fine. So, okay, let us continue. Now, let us take another class. Say I am writing class, let us take what? A panda. I love pandas, so I am taking that. Panda extends the animals class, okay, and then automatically you can see there is a warning. What does this mean? See, I am trying to inherit from the class animals where I have some things written, correct, but you can see this is a complete or normal method, so it will be automatically inherited. But have I given the implementation of this method here in the parent class? Not given, right? So, as soon as you extend an abstract class, if there is an abstract method in that class, you have to give the implementation in the child class. Okay? There comes one more very important concept I will tell you. Please remember this. This is a very, very important concept in Java. 6th or 7th semester, VTU, I am telling you. Annotations. Many people haven't even heard about this word, I can guarantee you this. And what your lecturers will do? They will go through a PPT. This is annotation, the definition done. It should not be like that, because placement people will not ask you to explain from a PPT. You have to know in and out of the concept, right? So, let me just show you here what happens. We haven't even started polymorphism, right? But I am telling you one thing, remember, from the parent class, if you use a method in the child class and if you give the implementation, you are changing something, right? That is called overriding. For the timing, just remember this word, it is called overriding. So, what I will do? I will just see what I am doing. I am clicking here and it says implement methods. Okay, there is one method which has not yet implemented, which is the speed method. Just see here what happens. Automatically, this speed method, it is telling me to implement. So, I will just click on OK, and automatically see there is an annotation. This is guys, this is called an annotation. What is that? Annotation at the rate override means that you are actually overwriting something from the parent class. This is a way of polymorphism. Okay, this is called dynamic polymorphism. We will talk about that when you are actually learning about polymorphism. Don't worry. For the timing, just remember that. In short, on simple terms, just remember like this. An abstract class had an abstract method called speed. As soon as I was inheriting this class animals, which is abstract, I have to give the implementation in the child class. Okay? And this annotation helps you to understand that we have actually taken it from the parent and we are implementing this here. Okay? Now, here I will just say S out. Speed, right? Pandas are very slow moving animals. Okay? Just for example, I am writing like this. Fine. Now, guys, don't think that this annotation is very much mandatory. It is not mandatory. I can just go ahead and remove this. But this is not a good way of writing the code. So, therefore, we should write this to signify that this had come from the parent class and we are doing some changes here, or we are implementing this in the child class. Please remember that. Okay. So, now we are done with this. Now, let us do one thing. Let us write down one more class, say class tiger, again extends our animals, and here what I will do, I will copy the same thing from here, because you now know that override will come. So, otherwise I can do it from here also. I will just click on this, hover over this and say implement methods and say OK. Fine, you see the override symbol comes, and now I will just say S out. Tigers are very fast moving animals. Sorry for the spelling mistake. Okay, got it. So, as I said, please remember, for the last time I am telling you, in an abstract class there can be two types of methods. The first one is an abstract method, where what happens, it has to be left empty. Interviewer can ask you, can we define an abstract class and write the body of that? Absolutely not. It has to be implemented in the child class. Please remember that. Okay? And the normal method, it is already implemented. So, you will get access to it directly. Do not have to worry about that. Okay? And after that, you can see we had a panda class which extends from the animals, where I had given a separate implementation of the same thing, and in the class tiger I had given a separate implementation of that. And we have written a override annotation to signify that we have actually taken this function from the parent class and we have implemented it in the child class. This is an example of polymorphism, okay? But not total polymorphism. We will talk about that properly, do not have to worry. I hope till now you have understood the concept, correct? Now, let us do one thing. Let us take one more class and say what? Abstraction. Here I will have the main function, and here let me create the panda object. Panda is equal to new panda. Similarly, let us create the tiger object. Tiger is equal to new tiger. Done. Now, let me say panda dot, remember in the parent class we had the eat method, dot eat should come, it is coming, correct? And then panda dot the speed, this will come from the child class where we have implemented this. See this, pandas are very slow moving animals, okay? Similarly, let us do it for the tiger as well. Tiger dot eat coming from the parent and tiger dot speed coming from the child, and let us run this now and try to understand this. See guys, so this was the basic one that we took from the parent class. Animals eat some food, eat for this, and the specific ones are coming from the implemented ones in the child class. You can see, right? Pandas are very slow moving animals and tigers are very fast moving animals. Clear? I hope this gives you a clear picture of what abstraction is and how to use this. Is that clear? Please tell me in the comment section. If you have any doubts regarding this, please tell me. The comment section is all yours. Use it properly. At the same time, I do not understand why you guys simply come, visit the video, watch everything, then go off. That is not a good thing to do. Arey subscribe karo yaar. You just come up, watch the video, give a like and go off. Subscribe भी करना होता है. You guys have to subscribe also. Otherwise हम लोग का भी motivation खत्म हो जाएगा. We will also feel we are done with that. We will go ahead with our normal work. We are bringing up lots of videos. We are dedicatedly bringing C++ live sessions every single day. Why? Because we are liking your response. But only liking the response is not good. You have to subscribe to our content also. That gives us more motivation. And it is a win-win situation for both, because you are learning and we are getting some audience. That is what it is always. Okay. So this is a request from us. Please subscribe guys. Please subscribe. Don't just come, watch and go away. Please subscribe and prove that you are actually building a very good, group of people who are actually learning something. Okay. So that's my request, all of, and notification bell that has to be hidden so that you get lots of updates. Okay. Because every single day we are coming with live videos. Yes. And don't worry, we will be solving lots of interview questions also gradually. So with time we will be doing lots of interesting things. Fine. So I hope you have understood about abstraction. Please tell me if there is any doubt, again I am telling you, fine. And now, one thing that I told you here, just try to understand this. I said when you use an abstract class and an abstract method, it is 0 to 100% abstraction, correct? Why? Because I will just tell you in a very shortcut way, please remember this. When an abstract class has only abstract methods, okay, when an abstract class has only abstract methods, the implementation of which has to be given in the child class, then it is 100%. But if an abstract class has even one single normal method, okay, if any abstract class has even a single normal or complete method, it is not 100% abstraction. It can be anything less than 100, but it will not be 100%. Please remember this concept. This is very important for your drives, placement drives. See, you might be thinking you will clear apti, you will clear the coding round, and then you will go off and get the job. It's not like that. In the face-to-face interview also, you have to be very clear of whatever you are speaking about. Okay. So, in and out, learn every concept. Take your time. You have lots of time in your hands. Take your time, learn, and then you will be confident enough to answer in the interviews. Okay. So, now with this you have understood that abstract classes and methods is one way of achieving what? Abstraction. Okay. So, I have not got any doubts as of now. So, I will think that everything is fine and we will move on to the next topic, which is what? Interfaces. Fine, let us go to that. So, for this just remember one thing, we have to use a new keyword now, which is the interface keyword, and we will be using one more keyword, that is the implements keyword. Fine. Now, I will not write the definition right away. What I will do is, I will create an interface and show you, and then you will understand the definition properly. Okay. Let us go ahead and do this. The second one is interfaces, right? So, let us do one thing, new interface. See, Java class, but not a class, I will create an interface. Okay. So, let me say what? Animal only. Okay. I am keeping it relevant so that you guys can get a hold of this. And you can see, guys, I have a new keyword here automatically. This is not a class, this becomes an interface. Okay. And it is not mandatory to write public here. It can be a default modifier also, it can be a private modifier, but private should not be used at the top level, right? I have already discussed this in the previous videos. Anybody who is new to the channel and has started from today's video, guys, please go ahead and visit the playlist and try to cover up everything that we have covered from scratch, because I had started Java from beginning and right now we are in the OOPS concepts, the 4 pillars of object oriented programming. Okay. So, now here let us see how an interface works and behaves. I am taking an example of a method, say what? Eat and give a bracket, and let us do one thing, interesting thing, try to understand, that will give you the definition and idea of interfaces also. I have given the method name and let me write a bracket here and try to write something. See, abstract class was allowing us to do that, right? Let me go back here and try to show you this. This is my abstract class. You can see in the abstract class, when I wrote void it was allowing me to write something. That means it was allowing me to define it and also have the body of that method. But as soon as I am doing this with the interface, I am getting a warning. Why so? See the error. Interface abstract methods cannot have body. Okay. So, an interface should have empty methods, please remember. Okay. So, let me just write it down here. An interface is a completely abstract class with methods having what? Empty bodies. Please remember this. Okay. An interface is a completely abstract class with methods having empty bodies. The JVM or the compiler will not allow you to write anything inside this. Whatever you write is not allowed. You can write this, but you can see this warning here. Just hover over this and try to understand. Interface abstract methods cannot have a body. So, it has to be totally left empty. Okay. So, what I will do? I will just remove this and give a semicolon. One more, say I am having void what speed only. Okay. Fine. We have two methods and we do not have to write the abstract keyword also. Okay. But they are by default abstract because they are empty, and the implementation of these two methods will be given in the classes which will implement this class. Inheriting or implementing is okay, but because of an interface we have to use the implements keyword. Now we will not be using extends, we will be using implements. Okay. Please remember this. So, let us do one thing. I am having a class called say cheetah implements and say animal. Okay. You can see I have a I with an arrow. Now, automatically what did I say? As soon as you sign a contract with the parent, you have to implement those methods in your class. Okay. So, just hover over this and write implement methods, both of them, and click on OK. See, void it and void speed, this two I have to implement here. So, I am just saying S out, eat, right. Cheetah is an herbivore, animal, I beg your pardon, it is not herbivore, carnivore. Okay. Got it? And about the speed, S out, I will say cheetah is the fastest animal. Okay. Fine. Similarly, let us take one more and let me remove this unnecessary spaces that is created by the compiler. Fine. So, you can see I have an interface animal and I have two methods which are completely empty, and I have a class called cheetah which implements this interface. Therefore, these two methods, the implementation has to be given in the child class. Similarly, let us create one more. Say let us take a very slow moving animal. So, class say sloth implements animal, and then let us copy this two because I do not want to write it again and paste this here and then I will not write cheetah, I will say sloth. Sloth is a herbivore, and sloth is the slowest animal actually, it is very slow. If any one of you has watched a cartoon movie called Zootopia, you might be knowing about the sloth. Okay. So, with this we have written the implementation of the interface in the two child classes, correct, understood. So, just the differences, interface is a completely abstract class with empty bodies of the methods. The methods will be empty, implementation has to be given in the child class. Please remember this guys, please, please, please. Okay. Now, let us go ahead and create one more class called interface demo, and then let us create the object of the two classes that we created. Cheetah is equal to new cheetah, and say what was the next one, it was sloth, right. So, sloth is equal to new sloth, fine. Now, let us call the methods. So, I will say cheetah dot, sorry, okay. I haven't yet written the main function. So, what I will do, I will just write the main, and then because you can see I was not getting the suggestions, right. Now, let us see, I will write cheetah dot eat and cheetah dot speed. Similarly, sloth dot eat and sloth dot speed, fine. So, let us run this and check. See guys, cheetah is a carnivore, and I should not have written N here because it should be a. This should be a, right. Okay. Now, see the output. Okay. Cheetah is a carnivore, is the fastest animal. Similarly, sloth is an herbivore animal and sloth is the slowest animal. Got it? This is how you use an interface. So, again I will repeat this one more time. An interface is a completely abstract class with methods having empty borders. The implementation will be given in the child classes C1, C2, C3. Everywhere you will be having to implement the method. Whatever methods you have, that method you have to implement here and here, because you are signing a contract. Okay. So, I think someone says something here, sir, how we get the second largest number from an array using user input? Sorry, Nee says, sir, how you get the second largest number from an array using user input? It is out of context, but still I am telling you the logic. Normally what you do, you have an array, say randomly what, 2, 4, 1, 0, 3 and 6. Okay. What is in it? This is a random array, right? One step you sort it. Use any sorting algorithm. It can be merge sort, count sort, whatever sorting algorithm you know, use it. Better is quick sort or merge sort, because the time complexity of n log of n, right. So, we will get the array like this, 0, then what, 1, then 2, 3, then 4, then 6, right, sorted. Now, how can you get the second largest element? Very simple. The indexing is from what, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, the length of the array is 6, right, length of the array is 6. So, at index number n minus 2, you will get it. At index number n minus 2, you will get the array. Is it clear? Did you understand that? At index number n minus 2, you will get the answer. First sort it, then return the index n minus 2, that is the second largest. I hope this is clear. So, 2 steps, you can do it. There are lots of other ways to do it. This is an efficient way of doing it. Sort the array, then return the second largest element. That means from the last return the second element. So, it will be n minus 2, because n minus 1 is this, 6 minus 1 will give you this element. I do not want that, I want this one, the second largest. So, it will be 6 minus 2, that is index number 4. This is the answer. Okay. Hope you have understood this. Now, let us do one thing. Okay guys, just wait for around 10 seconds because the battery has to be changed. There is a limitation. So, I will be back. Okay, I guess I am back. So, as I said, we have learnt about the interface concept and we have understood about the concept properly, right. Now, the next point, very important point that we were about to discuss, what was that? I said using an interface we can achieve what? 100% abstraction. I told you, right. The reason is very simple guys. Let us go ahead and look at the code. In the code you can see that the interface does not allow you to create normal methods. It just has abstract methods or empty methods. Therefore, because an interface does not allow you to write the definition of the methods in that particular interface, it is 100% abstraction. Okay? In an abstract class, it allows you to use a normal method, but in an interface you are never allowed to use a normal method. That is why interfaces are used mostly to create 100% abstraction or exhibit 100% abstraction. Okay? So, hope you have understood this. Now, as I said, in case of a class, we were not able to extend multiple classes, right, but in case of an interface, we can inherit multiple interfaces. For example, this is an interface, right. I will say implements. This animal is an interface, right. This is a class, implements animals, animal is an interface, this is the interface, comma. Let us take one more example of an interface. I will say runnable, runnable is an interface. See, this is not a warning. I will tell you the reason. In the runnable, we have a method called start. It is not a warning. See, implement methods it is saying. It is not a warning. That means it is not an error. It is just telling that there is actually a method in the runnable interface which has to be implemented here. That is all, nothing else. But it is not showing the same error that you had earlier for the class. A class cannot extend multiple classes, that was showing. Here this error is not there. It is saying implement methods because I am trying to implement one more interface. So, there might be something here. Let me just show you. I will go here, control and click. See, what is this function? Void run. So, I have to implement this in my code, then only I can implement that. Understood? So, there is no error. And a class can implement multiple interfaces. How? By just giving a comma. It can be multiple. Okay. How much ever you want. There is one more, let me say serializable. This is also allowed. Okay. But here it just says implement methods. So, you have to understand what is there in that parent and then we have to implement that here. That is all. Okay. So, let me just remove all this because we have understood this properly. Fine. Now, because we have understood about this interface concept, now we can move on to our multiple inheritance concept because we know interfaces now. Okay. So, as we had discussed earlier, this syntax is not allowed, right. I cannot say class A extends, say I have class B comma class C. So, class A extends B comma C. This syntax is not allowed. So, I am striking it off. But if I say class A implements, say I have interface B and interface C, then I can write B comma C and write like this. This is absolutely fine. Okay, please remember this. This is very important to understand. Okay, now let's move on to the concept multiple inheritance. Okay, multiple inheritance. So, normally we use lots of browsers, right? Lots of browsers, or what? Say something like this. Let's talk about something else. We can talk about the music players that we have. Music player apps. There can be lots of them. Ghana, there can be Wink, there can be Spotify, lots of them, correct. Suppose you have the freedom of choosing any one of them. Let's try to implement something like this. Okay, let's try to understand that. So, now let's get back to multiple inheritance part, and here right click, I am creating a new interface called, say what, Spotify, okay, for example. And here I will have a method void play underscore Spotify, something like this. And you already know that we cannot write the method, right? So, let me just make it like this, and I will create one more interface, say Wink music, and let me just add this to the dictionary. One second, okay, fine. And here let me take one more function, play WYNK music, fine, and empty. And similarly one more interface, say Ghana, and void play Ghana. Let me add this to the dictionary so that there is no error. Okay, got it. Guys, see what I am trying to do is public interface Spotify. I have a method called Spotify which is empty because it is an interface. Similarly, I have an interface Wink music which is also empty. Similarly, one more Ghana which is also empty. Now see the magic. I have a class called music players. I will say implements, and here what I will write? I will write the Spotify first, then give a comma and say Wink music, then give a comma and say Ghana. See, 3 interfaces can be implemented by a class. Only thing is what we have to do is we have to implement the 3 methods. Just click on this and do this. See, click on OK. Now see, there is no error, everything is fine. So, understood? This is how we can achieve multiple inheritance in Java. Is that clear? So, create 3 interfaces, create thousands of interfaces and take a class which can actually implement all of them and write the definition here. So, let us write it. So, I will say S out playing music from Spotify. What I will do is, I will copy this entire thing. Let us copy this print statement only, so that I can copy it everywhere. Paste and again paste. So, this will become wink, this will become Ghana. Fine. You can see that I have actually a music players class which has 3 different music players: Spotify, Wink Music and Ghana. Now, let us do one thing. Create one more class called multiple inheritance demo. See guys, please remember the syntax and the format also, the convention also. Always write the Pascal naming convention for a class. Many people I have seen write the class name in small letters. Don't do it. It is not a good practice. Okay. Now, the main function comes here, and let us do one thing. Let us create the object of this music players class. Okay. So, music players is equal to new music players. Now, right now I am in the mood of listening music in Spotify. So, what I will do, I will say music players dot play Spotify. See, but after some time, say tomorrow, music players dot Wink Music, I want to go there, understood? And again, suppose after 1 month I am bored of these 2 applications, I want to listen to Ghana, but I am using the same object, correct? The same object is actually helping me to go to whichever application I want to, either Spotify, either Wink Music or Play Ghana. Got it? This is how you achieve multiple inheritance in Java using interfaces. See, Spotify, Wink Music and Ghana. Hope you have understood this, and this was a real time example so that you can really understand how it works. Now, if I just run this, see the output. See, playing music from Spotify, from Wink, from Ghana. Okay, guys, I hope you have loved this session, and if you really loved it, please write down in the comments understood, and if you really loved it, you can give a heart in the comments also. And hope you have understood the inheritance concept and the multiple inheritance concept, also everything about the abstraction concept. Okay, abstract classes and methods and interfaces. After that, we have also seen how we can come across and overcome this problem of multiple inheritance by using interfaces in Java. Okay, and request once again all of you to please subscribe to our channel, because that is the least you can do to motivate us, because we are trying a lot to bring better content to you, and we need to be motivated to bring lots of good content to you. Thank you guys, and this is Saurav signing off. Till the next time.